Bears are powerful and intelligent mammals that inhabit a variety of ecosystems across the world, from dense forests and mountain ranges to Arctic tundras. These majestic creatures, often symbolizing strength and resilience, come in several species, including the mighty grizzly bear, the elusive polar bear, and the adaptable black bear. Despite their often fearsome reputation, bears are generally solitary animals with complex behaviors, showing tenderness in parenting and impressive foraging skills. They have an acute sense of smell, enabling them to locate food from miles away, and their diet varies widely depending on their habitat, ranging from fish and small mammals to berries, nuts, and even insects. During the winter months, many bears enter a state of hibernation, slowing their metabolism and surviving off stored body fat. While they are awe-inspiring to encounter in the wild, bears are also under threat from habitat loss and climate change, making conservation efforts vital to ensure their survival for future generations. One of the most unique and fascinating aspects of bear behavior is their ability to hibernate, a complex physiological process that sets them apart from many other mammals. Unlike typical sleep, hibernation is a state of profound metabolic slowdown that allows bears to survive harsh winter months without eating, drinking, urinating, or defecating. During this time, their heart rate can drop from around 40 to 50 beats per minute to as low as 8 beats per minute, and their body temperature slightly decreases to conserve energy while still remaining alert enough to react to threats. What's even more extraordinary is that pregnant female bears give birth during hibernation and nurse their tiny, blind cubs in the den for weeks while remaining in this dormant state. The bear's ability to recycle waste into protein during hibernation also fascinates scientists, as it could hold keys to medical breakthroughs in kidney disease and muscle atrophy in humans. Additionally, bears possess an uncanny memory and navigation ability, often returning to the same feeding grounds or den sites year after year with precision. Their combination of physical power, gentle parental instincts, environmental adaptability, and biological marvels makes the bear one of nature's most uniquely equipped creatures, inspiring awe and curiosity in cultures and researchers across the globe. The lifespan of a bear varies depending on the species, environmental factors, and whether the bear lives in the wild or in captivity, but in general, bears can live surprisingly long and resilient lives. In the wild, most bear species live between 20 to 30 years, with some individuals reaching their late 30s under ideal conditions. For example, American black bears typically live up to 25 years in the wild, while grizzly bears often live around 20 to 25 years. Polar bears, although facing increasingly harsh challenges due to climate change, can also live up to 25 years in the wild. In captivity, where food is abundant and medical care is provided, bears can live even longer. Some individuals have been known to reach 40 or more years. However, lifespan in the wild is influenced by various factors such as food availability, habitat quality, disease, human interactions, and competition with other animals. Cubs are particularly vulnerable in their early years, as they rely entirely on their mother's protection and guidance. Once they reach adulthood, however, bears generally face few natural predators, and their greatest threats come from humans through hunting, habitat destruction, and climate change. Despite these challenges, bears are incredibly adaptable, and their ability to survive and thrive for decades in diverse and often harsh conditions is a testament to their strength, intelligence, and evolutionary success. Their long lifespan also means they have extended periods to learn from experience, build memory, and develop survival strategies, traits that only add to their mystique and majesty in the natural world. The pregnancy period of a bear is a fascinating and complex process that showcases the remarkable adaptability and reproductive strategy of these powerful mammals. What makes bear reproduction especially unique is a phenomenon known as delayed implantation. After mating, which usually occurs in the spring or early summer, the fertilized egg doesn't immediately implant in the uterus. Instead, it remains in a suspended state for several months. This delay allows the female bear to continue gaining weight and building up fat reserves during the summer and fall, ensuring she has enough energy to support both herself and her future cubs during hibernation. Actual implantation occurs in the fall, and from that point, the active gestation period lasts only about 6 to 8 weeks. Most bear species give birth during the hibernation period, typically between January and February, while the mother is in a den. She does not eat, drink, or leave the den during this time, yet she is able to give birth and nurse her cubs, thanks to the fat reserves stored in her body. Cubs are born extremely small and helpless, usually weighing less than a pound, blind, hairless, and completely dependent on their mother's warmth and milk. The number of cubs varies by species, but most commonly ranges from 1 to 3. The mother stays in the den with her cubs until spring, when the weather becomes favorable, and the cubs are strong enough to begin exploring the world. This entire process, from delayed implantation to nurturing cubs through the most vulnerable stage of their lives, highlights the bear's incredible reproductive strategy, one that has evolved to maximize survival in some of the planet's most challenging environments. The greatest fear of a bear, despite its size and power, often stems from human presence and activity. While bears are apex predators and have few natural enemies, they are highly sensitive to their surroundings and tend to avoid conflict whenever possible. In the wild, bears fear anything that threatens their safety, territory, or offspring. Among all threats, humans pose the most significant and consistent source of fear. The sound, smell, or sight of people can cause a bear to retreat quickly, especially in areas where they have learned through experience or instinct that human interaction can lead to danger, whether through hunting, habitat destruction, or unexpected encounters. This fear is not irrational. Historically, bears have been hunted for sport, fur, and perceived threats, and in many regions, human encroachment has fragmented their habitats and limited their access to food and shelter. Mother bears are particularly cautious, and their greatest fear is the loss or harm of their cubs. They become highly protective and alert, often going to great lengths to avoid danger and relocate their young if a threat is sensed. In addition to humans, bears may also fear other large predators, especially when competing for food or defending territory, though this is less common. Loud noises, unfamiliar scents, or sudden changes in their environment can trigger defensive behavior, but bears typically prefer flight over fight unless cornered or provoked. Ultimately, despite their fearsome appearance, bears are creatures of caution, relying on their senses and instincts to stay safe in an ever-changing world where the greatest threat, and therefore greatest fear, is often the unpredictable behavior of humans. Bears, despite being wild creatures, offer several profound lessons that human beings can learn from by observing their behavior, instincts, and relationship with nature. One of the most powerful lessons is the importance of balance. Bears live in harmony with their environment, taking only what they need and adapting to the seasons with patience and wisdom. Their ability to prepare for winter through hibernation reminds us of the value of rest, recovery, and planning ahead. In today's fast-paced world, we often neglect the need to slow down and recharge, but bears show us that conserving energy and being mindful of our resources is vital for survival. Mother bears also exemplify fierce love and protection, dedicating themselves completely to raising and nurturing their young, teaching us about loyalty, care, and the strength of maternal bonds. Bears are also symbols of resilience. They endure harsh conditions, navigate vast landscapes, and overcome challenges with quiet strength and determination. Furthermore, their solitary nature teaches us the value of solitude and self-reliance, how spending time alone can lead to growth, reflection, and inner peace. In many cultures, bears are seen as spiritual guides, representing courage, introspection, and healing. From their patience and adaptability to their fierce independence and gentle strength, bears embody qualities that, if observed and embraced, can lead us to live more thoughtful, grounded, and purposeful lives.